Hi guys, it's Mark Zickery, Mr. Sci-Fi, and I am here on this nice warm Friday to talk to you about the latest big hit movie, which is Beetlejuice. Now, I'm going to give you a little context, tell you my thoughts about it, and go from there. So, I've never been a big fan of Beetlejuice. A lot of people say that because it's so strange. But when I saw the first movie, the original Beetlejuice, this time I went back and watched it before I saw the sequel. I wanted to remember all the little grace notes and characters and all of that. And when I first saw it, when it first came out 36 years ago, I found it kind of meandering and odd and strangely structured. I didn't think it was that great a movie. But that's because I really didn't know Tim Burton's skills and objectives and agenda. It was only his second film. The first one was Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which was a great match of director and star, but it was mainly Pee-wee Herman's aesthetic. So it was Pee-wee's world, and you'd have a few little Tim Burton-ish things, but mainly it was Pee-wee. So really we didn't know yet what Tim Burton was all about. And Beetlejuice was his second film, and that was the film that you can really call Tim Burton in all his glory, where he was pulling out all the stops and bringing all the weirdness that he brings to things. And, you know, all the films that went after that were very much Tim Burton style, Tim Burton's bag of tricks. And so it was fascinating to watch that developing and see where it went. The cast in Beetlejuice. Now, this time when I watched Beetlejuice, I actually liked it a lot more than I had the first time around. I thought it was more solidly structured. I liked the actors very much. I liked the characters. I liked the visuals. Michael Keaton is terrific as Beetlejuice. And so I was surprised that I liked it better than I had. And so, you know, it deserves to be a classic. It deserves to be remembered, and I'm glad it is. Michael Keaton delivers a great job. Unfortunately, the makeup is so extreme that 36 years later, when he's back in that makeup, it really seems like, you know, it's the same guy. It's not, 36 years later. And so he's probably the best thing about Beetlejuice. The problem I have with the recent one, the new one, is that it is all over the place. The complaints I had about the original one are revisiting me, haunting me, you might say. And it just has all these little odd characters, and some of it works, and some of it is like, well, why is Willem Dafoe a detective, a dead detective? It's like, oh, that doesn't work too well. And then the girl who's, you know, searching for Beetlejuice, you know, I guess his ex-wife or whatever, you know, again, strange. But there are still things to love in this film, and a lot of fascinating visuals, a lot of visual surprises. Michael Keaton is terrific again. Much of the cast is very, very strong. They couldn't, of course, bring back the actor who played the father because subsequently he had been convicted of pedophilia. So that kind of is a career dampener, one would say. But he appears as a stop-motion character and in photographs and so on and so forth. And so I think it's a decent way to get around that problem. Now, also, some people have been saying, well, why aren't Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis in it? Because they were so winning and charming in the first one. Well, obviously it's because they're ghosts in the first one, and ghosts don't age, and Mr. Baldwin and Miss Davis have. And yes, one could do computer stuff and bring them back, but really their story had been told, and I don't think there would. I think it was the right choice not to have them in this film, but mainly it's, you know, there are certain directors who are so talented and so individual that even their failures are generally interesting. And so this isn't a huge failure like some of Tim Burton's films. I mean, artistically, it's sort of mid-range. It's not among his great films like Ed Wood, but it's not a total disaster either. So in that way, Tim Burton is like Ridley Scott, in my opinion. So Prometheus is not a great film, but because Ridley Scott brings so much to it in terms of visual design and on and on and on, it's fascinating nonetheless. So at the end of the day, would I recommend you see Beetlejuice? Probably, but definitely watch the first one first, so you'll know who the characters are, what their relationships are, what their history is. For me, as I said, the stuff with Beetlejuice himself is the stuff that works best. Jenna Ortega is sort of the disaffected teenager, and her mom is Winona Ryder, whereas, of course, in the original film it was Winona Ryder as the disaffected teenager, but of course that's become such a cliche in films. It's not that interesting, and but still, it's everyone does their job, and and you can do your job too, which is to go see the movie and keep the studio system running. Anyway, that's it for now. Please subscribe to Mr. Sci-Fi. Please like and comment on all of those things, and then if you're interested in supporting Space Command or the Showrunners Network, you can read the info below. And that's about it for now. So thanks a lot, guys. Talk soon.